On January 31st, 2020, officers of Bay City, Texas, arrive at the residence of Lauren K. Dean to perform a wellness check. Based on a criminal complaint filed with the department, stating that Dean left her 3 children alone to go out to a local bar. A 3-month-old, a 5-year-old, and bedridden 7-year-old with special needs, who had Down syndrome, cerebral palsy, could not communicate and relied on a feeding tube to survive. At the time of arrival, Dean was home and allowed authorities access to the premises, reassuring officers that the children were safe and unharmed. Upon further inspection of the apartment, it was revealed that her 7-year-old daughter had passed away. Dean was taken into custody, and her 2 other children were safely removed from the home, though it is not stated where they were moved to or to whom custody would be given to. According to Fox News, she was originally booked on felony abandonment and endangerment charges, later being changed to capital murder of a person under the age of 10. Throughout the investigation, police found emotional posts to social media from the young mother. Speaking of the joys of having a special needs child, once even posted about her intentions to find a dance instructor for the child, even if that meant she would have to learn how to dance in a wheelchair. As authorities delved further, it was determined that she indeed left her children home to go out to a local bar, Shade's nightclub. As of October of 2022, the defendant entered a plea of guilty, avoiding a trial before a jury but also the possible penalty of death. Before the sentencing, Dean chose not to address the court. Her sentence was life in prison for the murder and an additional 20 years for the 2 charges of child endangerment. Like and subscribe for more videos like this one. If there is a story you would like to hear, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below, and we will include your recommendation in future videos. Wednesday, March 30th, emergency response operators received a call from the husband of Natalia Alexandrovna Hitchcock about possible stabbing. Officers arrived on the scene, being beckoned inside by a distressed male. Entering the apartment only to find an unconscious boy in the living room. Initially not finding any sign of a pulse, responders attempted CPR, managing to resuscitate the young boy, only for him to later succumb to his injuries. Officers inquired where the woman was located, referring to Hitchcock, being informed that she was in a nearby bedroom. The husband entered the bedroom and re-emerged with the suspect. Documentation is unsure of who exactly had the knife. Detaining the suspect and questioning the husband in regards to the events that transpired, the husband was able to provide authorities with familial background information, including the fact that his mother-in-law lived in Russia, elaborating on how the war between Russia and Ukraine has been affecting his wife's mental health. Hitchcock, wanting to see her family before possible disaster could strike, became angry when she could not book flights to Russia. She then began insisting days before the incident that they buy several survival items such as a portable stove, camping gear, along with multiple weapons. In an effort to quell these fears, he purchased all items aside from the weapons. After only sleeping 8 hours in the past 5 days, along with the consumption of copious amounts of vodka, which she was not known for, Hitchcock's paranoia grew tireless, insisting that her husband stay home from work. Assuring her of her safety, he agreed to stay home on the day of the incident. Assuming that the phone call from her mother would also help put her mind at ease, having not slept himself, he proceeded to lay down for a nap. Being awoken by the scream of his elder son, upon seeing the fear on his face, the father entered the younger son's room, only to find the younger son unconscious and a frantic wife whom allegedly stating she had killed the child. Gathering the son in his arms and making his way to the living room, where he could perform CPR. While being detained, authorities noticed blood on Hitchcock's chest. Upon further inquiry, she stated that she intended to stab herself. Hitchcock stated she was concerned that her husband would sell their children to be exploited on the dark web. Her paranoid delusions even expanded to those she interacted with, believing everyone to be under the impression that she herself was a Russian spy. Upon learning of her son's demise, days later, Hitchcock remained completely calm. Natalia Alexandrovna Hitchcock of Sheboygan Falls, Wisconsin, is being charged with first-degree intentional homicide and attempted first-degree intentional homicide. Intentional homicide being one of the state's highest homicide charges. This ongoing case could test the parameters of Wisconsin's mental health defense. Life is as short as it is tough, and challenges are something everyone has to face, no matter their walk of life. If anyone you know, or even you, are struggling with mental health, it's imperative to remember that you are never alone and there is always help and support available. It is a serious issue that affects every single person at least once in their lives. It's important to understand that ignoring problems is not a healthy or effective way to cope with emotional pain. Thank you ever so much for watching Why on Earth News.